Alright, so welcome back to EDU-Tutor. Today we're going to be looking at May 2021 paper 2 Principles of Accounts. And we're doing question 1. It says Anil, a debtor who owes Metro Trading 5,600 as at the 30th of April 2021. The following information was extracted from the books of Metro Trading for the month of May 2021. And then they provided a list of transactions which they said that we should use the form provided below to prepare Anil's account in the books of Metro Trading for the month of May. Show the balance brought down on the 1st of June 2021. Alright, so this is a debtor's account, and if you remember, a debtor's account is an asset to the business. So anything that increases the debtor's account goes on the debit side, and anything that decreases the debtor's account goes on the credit side. So it says May 7, we sold the merchandise on credit to Anil. The sales invoice is $3,450 less 20% trade discount. However, I also want you to take note of the fact that in the introduction, they said that Anil owes the business $5,600. Now remember, anytime a debtor owes a business money, that means that the debtor's account would have had a balance. And therefore, at the start of the month, we need to show that there's a balance of 5,600. At the end of the month, they had the balance of 5,600 for April, so we're starting May with 5,600 balance. So here I have the 1st of May balance brought down 5,600. Now on the 7th, we sold more merchandise to Annie, and we should less 20% discount. So then we're going to find 20% of 3,450, which is equivalent to 690. And then we subtract the 690 from the 3,450. So it's 3,450 multiplied by 20%, which is equal to 690. And then we subtract the 690 from the 3,450, which is going to give us $2,760, which is recorded on the debit side because this is going to increase the debtor's account. Now on the 9th, Anil settled the amount outstanding from last month after deducting 3%. So you first have to ask yourself, how much did Anil have outstanding from last month? And that's 5,600. So we have to subtract that amount from Anil's payment. So we find 5,600 multiplied by 3%, which is equivalent to 168, and then we subtract 168 from 5,600, which is going to give us 5,432. And we record that on the credit side because when Anil makes a payment, it reduces her account. Now on the 13th, we sent a credit note for 360 to Anil for merchandise purchased on May 7 in a damaged condition. So this is also going to reduce Anil's account because we're saying that we're not going to collect for the goods that were damaged. And therefore, we put this on the credit side of her account. Finally, on the 15th, we sent a check again to Anil for an overpayment made in the month. Again, this is going to reduce our account to reflect the fact that we put extra money in our account and we are now removing that money. So we put it on the credit side, which is indicated down here. Now we need to balance off our account. So for interest of time, I already completed the balancing off. However, I'm going to go through it. The first thing is you're going to total both sides. So 5,600 plus 2,760 is going to give you $8,360. So after you total the debit side, you're going to total the credit side. Remember that when you're balancing off, you would not yet have the balance CD. You would have 230, 360, 168, and 5,432. So if you put all of those into your calculator, you will get 6,190. And you minus it from the larger total, which is on the debit side of 8,360, which gives you 2,170. Now the 2,170 goes on the smaller side on the 31st of the month if the month has 31 days. And then you total both sides. Both sides should be equal, and your balance CD goes on the opposite side as balance BD on the first of the following month. Now B says in the spaces provided, state the name of the ledger in which each of the four accounts listed below will be found. Alright, so Anil will be found in the sales ledger, the purchases returns it in the general ledger, discounts allowed general ledger, and cash general ledger. The bookkeeper extracted the following list of balances from Measure Trading's ledger on the 31st of May 2021. The following additional information is available. The total of 5,900 in the discount allowed column in the cash book had been credited to the discounts received account in the ledger, and the purchases of $4,000 made on the 31st of May has not been posted. We're going to use the form provided below to prepare an adjusted trial balance for Metro Trading at the 31st of May 2021. So what I did is the first thing you need to put in the name of the business and the type of statement that you're preparing. So it's Metro Trading adjusted trial balance as at the 31st of May 2021. And then the next thing that I would recommend is that you just list out each item as they give you. So just like what you see it here listed, you just go ahead and list them in your trial balance. Right? Now, sales has a credit balance, so you put sales on the credit side. Inventory has a debit balance because it is an asset. Purchases is usually debited. Sales returns, debited. Trade receivables, debited because it's an asset. Carriage invoice an expense, it has a debit balance. Net current asset, debit. Discount received, credit. Trade payables, credit. Bank overdraft is a credit. Bank loan is also a credit. Drawings is an expense, and it usually carries a debit balance. Even though you're crediting your profit and loss account, it's treated as an expense. Capital, credit. Miscellaneous, expense, debit. Purchases, returns, credit, and discount allowed, debit. Now that is just me going through what you normally do to these items. However, they also gave us a note. It says the following additional information is available, and the total of 5,900 was in the discount allowed column and credited to discount receipt. What that simply means is that some of the money that was placed as discount allowed should not be there. In fact, it should be in your discount receipt column. So you need to subtract it or remove it from discount allowed. You need to remove it from discount received and place it in discount allowed. Now, if you look in this table, there is no discount allowed whatsoever. So you need to put it in your trial balance. So you're going to create an account for discount alone, which I did here, and you need to put the 5,900. Now you need to also subtract the 5,900 from this 85, which is for discount received, because we're saying that too much money was in discount received. In fact, some of it should have been in discount alone. So 8,500 minus the 5,900 gives us 2,600. And that's what you see in the trial balance here. All right. The next part says purchases of $4,000 made on the 31st of May 2021 had been posted to the purchases account. So we'll look for the purchases, 234,000, which is different from what we have up here. So why do we add 4,000? Because they said that purchases of $4,000 had not been posted to the account, which means that we did not record it. So we need to add it to the total that is in our trial balance to reflect the true amount that should be in purchases. And therefore, we have $234,000 for our purchases. And if you notice, we went down and we balanced off the account, which gives us 882,870 on both sides. So three items were affected by the adjustment. That is purchases, discounts allowed, and discounts received. All right. So that is it for question 1. If you want to see the answers for question 2, please watch the next video.